Sound familiar?
We never got that far.
No.
We literally got through barely anything. And then we got United States.
Okay, let's take a look. Let's review this gospel of wealth versus the social gospel. Okay, let's just read through this real quick as a quick review. John, go ahead.
The gospel of wealth. Wealth no longer looked upon as bad, viewed as a sign of God's approval. Christian duty to accumulate wealth should not give handouts.
Okay. And again, the argument is not to give the handouts, but that does not mean you don't help people help themselves. Understand that. It's not like you just don't do anything. What's that called? Helping people help themselves. Katie. Philanthropy, yes. Okay. Now then you had Andrew Carnegie, which I should take a look at for today, the gospel of wealth, basically saying inequality is inevitable and good. Wealth should act as trustees for their poorer brethren. Okay. The wealthy know how to keep money and know how to handle money. Again, you can see the arguments there. Okay. Let's read through this. Kemper, please.
The social gospel argues that many of the problems in society came about because the rich were abusing the poor. By contrast, the gospel of wealth argues that the rich were the ones who could best solve society's problems. The rich poor, as social Darwinism tells us, the fittest people.
Okay, so you see the difference between the social gospel and the gospel of wealth. Okay. Okay. John D. Rockefeller, Standard Oil, and of course I showed you this political cartoon before. As you can see, Ida Tarbell is the one that brings him down. All right. Grow if you would.
Rockefeller and his associates did not build the Standard Oil Company in the boardrooms of Wall Street banks. They fought their way to control by rebate and drawback, bribe and blackmail,
Espionage.
and price cutting by ruthless efficiency of organization.
So what is Ida Tarbell saying here? Who can explain what she is saying? Kemper?
That they did not build their company in a respectful way and they used bribes and blackmail and stuff like that in order to get to the top.
And in some cases, illegal activities, yes. Okay, here you got Cornelius Vanderbilt, and Cornelius Vanderbilt is the man that you think railroads with him. He also made the standard gauge railroad. I would like you to be aware of that, okay? And what that means is that the railroads, he made them all the same so that you had to use his railroads to use them, okay? If you wanted to ship anything, you have to use his railroad is what it comes down to, okay? And that was very significant. Okay, let's read through this. Sarah, please.
America's changed by industrial revolution. The United States led the world to in industry, in innovation, laissez-faire government policies, and business tactics led to monopolies. But the gap between the wealthy monopolists and the poor immigrant workers grew wider.
Okay, take a look at this. In 1918, percentage billionaires. Look at what the various industries are. Finance, steel, oil. Do you see what's going on there? It's not by accident that the largest areas of industrialization are the ones that are the millionaires, okay? Okay, what's going on here? You got to know this one. This has been a revolving political cartoon on AP tests. What's happening here? I got one. Where's everybody else at? I got a bunch. All right, turn to the person beside you. Let's do think, pair, share, and then we go over it. Talk it up. Okay, John, what's your group say?
The workers are getting crushed by the weight of the rich people, and they're having to work really hard for very poor conditions, under very poor conditions, to keep the rich people afloat.
To keep the rich people afloat. What we're transitioning into is looking at worker strikes. You can have as we just saw there, Carnegie and Rockefeller money. But if you don't have people to work, see, you always need the workers. Okay? You always need the workers. Take a look at what's going on here. Why could the owners get away with it? Well, go ahead. Girl, what were you going to add? Why would the owners get away with this? Go ahead.
Because that's where the jobs were and the people needed to work in order to stay alive.
Yeah. You don't like it? We'll hire somebody else. See ya. Not only that, you got hurt on the job. Well, sorry, we'll hire somebody. You know, you lose your hand, we'll hire somebody that has two hands. What do we say is necessary for industrialization to occur? What about government?
Support.
The government allowed this to happen. And what type of economy is this? Sarah just said it 2 minutes ago. Laissez-faire, yes. Protectors of the industries. Are they the owners? Are they the workers?
The workers.
Okay, so we can take a look at this, and we'll take a look at it together. The point of view of the economy expressed by the artist. What do you think A is? Kind of just said it, but just say it. Kemper.
The business owners are on the top and the workers are on the bottom, even though the workers are putting in all of the work while the business owners sit and do nothing.
What do you think for B? We will explain one development in the period that would be used to support the point of view by the artist. One development. What do you think? John, just because I saw your mask move, do you have an answer for B?
I'm not sure.
Anybody try B? Katie? I'll go right back to Ralph.
Nothing's coming to mind.
One development. Anybody help? Kemper, you're next in line.
Would be like the switch to railroads and more industrialization.
Yeah, I could go with that. What else? Look at the author's point of view and what would be something that developed during that time that would support this. We're missing some real obvious ones. Real obvious. What developed during this time period?
Monopolies.
Monopolies, trust. Katie, what were you going to say?
Municipal laissez-faire.
Yeah, laissez-faire. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, exactly. How about C? That could be used to challenge the point of view expressed by the artist. What might be used to challenge it? Katie.
Philanthropy.
Yeah, philanthropy. I would go with that. Kemper, what are you going to say?
Gospel wealth.
Gospel of wealth. Yeah. Yep. Good. Okay, here's an oldie but a goodie. What's going on here? Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now everybody's hand should be in the air. We went over this one already. Go ahead.
The business owners and monopolies are the ones in charge of government.
Okay, bosses of the Senate. All right, let's read the title there. Madison. Okay, now we already did that one on page 57, but that's the bosses of the Senate. And notice people's entrance is closed. Okay, and let's just read through this just to remind ourselves what it's all about. Madison, please. Satirical.
What is the purpose? To defeat the policy of developing cylinders to expose the trouble with having cylinders not accountable to voters. What was created to address the problem illustrated in the cartoon 17th Amendment during the Progressive Era election of
Now, let's just go over here a couple things. Senators were elected by state legislatures then. It's not until the 17th Amendment in 1913 that people actually elect senators. That's big. I want you to be aware of that. Okay, senators were elected by state legislatures. So if you had a Republican state legislature, you were getting a Republican in the state Senate. Now that doesn't work that way necessarily. Okay. Also, the other thing is, does anybody know what satire means? Satirical. What's satire? Go ahead.
Satire is when you're like saying one thing but you mean the opposite. You're exaggerating one side of something to make it seem like bad.
Yeah, to make it look bad. What you're doing? You're exaggerating something. Satire, I always think of like sarcasm. Okay, like, and that's what Puck Magazine was. Okay, it was the show. Obviously, that's not real. That is sarcasm with a purpose. That's what satire is. Okay. Okay, robber barons of the past. What's going on here? Let's interpret this political cartoon. What's happening here? Look closely at it. Look at the insert up at the top and look down at the bottom. I got one person that can interpret today. Where are we all at? I know we had 5 day break and it's snowing, but Katie, you're doing this one whether you want to or not.
Well, I can't really see this going on.
Well, that's fair. That I'll give you. Okay. Up at the top, you're seeing monarchs, you're seeing royalty. Well, the people are laying gold at the monarch's feet. And what's going on at the bottom there? So why is it called the robber barons of the past? Go ahead.
They were acting like royalty at that point, like they were on the top and everybody else under them could like just have to do what they wanted in order to stay on the good side.
History repeats itself. So are the captains of industry the same as royalty?
In this sense,
Yeah, according to this political cartoon. Now, here's a question I want you to think of the answer to. Were they robber barons or were they captains of industry? Weigh their positive and negative effects. Let's talk about this. Are these people robber barons or are they captains of industry? What do you think? Talk it up amongst yourselves. Should these people be revered as captains of industry or are they robber barons?
I mean, they are in the industry because in that sense have it like but in this sense rubber band, yeah, because they're hurting the working class in order to get on top and it's like competition over themselves rather than beneficial.
All right, over here, Sarah, what's the answer?
I say them on robber barons
Why?
because they're taking from the
How are they taking from the workers? They're giving the workers jobs. How's that taking from the workers? Well, let's think our answers through here. Go ahead, Kemper.
it could be each side could be argued since they did that one. I guess I'll do captains of industry. So they're gonna be captains of industry because any business is gonna have its negative like effects and people are gonna think negatively of it. But if you didn't have those big businesses, no industrialization or expansion would even be able to happen.
Okay. John, take a stand. Which are they? Robber barons or captain of industry? By the way, one thing Kemper didn't say was the fact that many are philanthropists.
Yeah, that's why I would say they would be captains of industry because they did try to give back.
After they made sure they monopolized and cut the little guy out of everything. So are you sure about that, John? Okay. Rice versus Rockefeller, we took a look at that one. Okay, and we didn't do the other one there. John D. Rockefeller. Now, this one, we don't have time to watch it in class. This is the one that I said start at minute 1. It's 40 some minutes. You want to watch it all, go ahead, but I would at least watch the first couple minutes because it really gets into him setting up his trusts. Okay. Ida Tarbell publishes History of Standard Oil. Okay, and this is where she gets into really bringing down Rockefeller. Okay, so let's do this one together. Go ahead into Canvas and find this one. We will have time to read this one. So let's take a look real quick like. It should say today in media history when you click on it. You finding it or no? Okay. All right. Go, Fausti. Go, please.
Investigative journalist Ida Tarbell was born on November 5th, 1857. She was just a member from the 19-part historic magazine series that began in 1902 about production at the Standard Oil. The series, which later became a book, is considered one of the great investigative pieces of the 20th century. One of the crusading journalists was of much interest as President Teddy Roosevelt. Tarbell was the young woman among such illustrious reporters as Upton Sinclair, Lincoln Steffens, Peter Finley, Dunn, and others. Tarbell wrote on a wide range of topics from tours for American newspapers and her syndicate kept her afloat for 3 years of great adventures, starting from her base in the Latin Quarter. But an encounter with Samuel C. McClure, editor of the Economist magazine, who looked up her up in Paris after reading the dispatches, brought her back to the United States. At first, Tarbell was the magazine's principal biographer, and her writing on the lives of Abraham Lincoln and Napoleon Bonaparte boosted circulation and helped her become, as McClure later wrote, the most generally famous woman in America. Tarbell was best known for the stunning series on the history of the Standard Oil Company and its founder, John D. Rockefeller. She no doubt was driven in part by her childhood experiences of the oil industry, in which her father lost his business and Lincoln. Tarbell's lifetime of journalism made it possible for her readers to experience in painstaking detail some of the important and persistent issues affecting their lives. And through her unmistakable fact-based approach, she still makes it possible for today's readers to gain insight into personalities, workplaces, and issues of her time. The following comes the PBS American Experience documentary, The Rockefellers.
Let's come down to an excerpt from Ida Tarbell's series, The History of Standard Oil. Okay, everybody see that's about 10, 20 lines down. See that? Okay, go ahead, please.
It takes time to question and continue the legitimate trade. The one of Mr. Rockefeller's most impressive characteristics is patience. There never was a more patient man, and one who could bear more long waiting. The folly of hurrying, the folly of discouragement, the one who would succeed much hand in hand. Everything must be ready before you act, but while you wait, you must prepare, must think more. You must put in if you would take out. His instinct for the ready opportunity in things was amazing. His perception of the value of seizing this or that particular invention, plant market, was unerring. He was like a general who, besieging a city surrounded by fortified hills, used to the moon, behold this field, and see how his quotation that must fall this country at certain command. Nothing was too small. The corner grocery in Browntown, the humble environment still on Willow Creek, the Florida private pipeline. Nothing but little things grow.
Now, what do you think of Ida Tarbell? Well, do this real quick. Let's go right to that video. See that link there? Watch that.
On the top,
Yeah, I think it's at the top. I just.
There is no man more dangerous in a position of power than he who refuses to accept it.
Okay, for the sake of time here, what do you think about Tarbell?
she's honest.
She's honest. What's she honest about?
She puts the facts out there. She doesn't like make people. She doesn't necessarily only say negative things about people. She just says it how it is.
Here's the question you got to look at this whenever you see anything, whenever somebody says anything to you, then you need to say something. How do you know that? And what motive do you have for telling me this? That's what I want you to do about Ida Tarbell. How does she know this? And what motivation does she have? And it might surprise you. Take a shot. How does she know this? Grow. Think about it. How does she know? Look at her job. What does she do? What is she? Help anybody. Yeah, she's an investigative reporter, an investigative journalist. Now, here's more important, and this is when you got to look at somebody and say, what motivation do you have? How do we know this, and what motivation do you have for saying it? Go ahead.
She wanted to get more money, so she had to appeal to the working class. So she
Okay.
wanted to
Maybe
get
she.
problems seen.
Writers don't make money if they don't sell their magazines. Yeah, there's something else.
Her father was like personally involved because the oil company was like,
Yeah, her father was part of what was called the Cleveland Massacre. And what the Cleveland Massacre was when all the people had their businesses bought up for less than what they were worth, probably, and simply put, went out of business. Well, guess who her father was? One of those people. I'm not saying she's biased, but I'm saying people accused her of being biased. Okay? All right, let me just show you this. Now, this is the one I said you can practice. I'm not assigning it. Okay? That's on Canvas, but let me show you this. Working conditions. What do you see in the picture? Children. That's a 2-minute video on Canvas also. Take a look at it. Okay? And not, anybody remember, a lot of this is not going to change until what era coming next? Glad I asked. It's not the Gilded. What's coming next? Starts with a P. Not until the progressive era. Yes. Are we going to see changes? You're going to see child labor laws, etc. Also, a lot of immigrants working, and a lot of immigrants did not have rights. That's going to change also. Okay, so does everybody see what you need to be doing the next 3 days? Okay, make sure you look over those videos. Absolutely 100% recommend you read your textbook. Okay, but make sure you take a look at the videos. Okay? All right, Test Friday. John, you can hit the lights, please. Now stop throwing stuff.
yeah,
Jeez. Do you pitch?
yeah,
It shows. Throwing.
yeah.
Where'd you go over Thanksgiving? Like Mexico or Canada, or where did you end up?
No, I was at home.
You were at home. Wow, that's a first.
First weekend since last January, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, oh, maybe I think maybe I had 1 week off in August. One day, maybe not a weekend.
You didn't know what to do with yourself.
I didn't. But I had Mason there to entertain me.
No, that's
And your sister was and yeah, I'm so glad she went back.
Yeah, don't forget Michaela.
Oh, she would like to forget her. I would. I don't want her to come home for Christmas. She's beautiful.
Have your attention, please. Mrs. Brim's class, report to Mrs. Crumb's room, 322. Mrs. Brim's class, report to Mrs. Crumb's room, 322.
No. Change all this. Change.